We're always so surprised when the camera turns on.
As if I didn't just hit record myself.
As if we haven't been sitting here for 2 hours already. But whatever. Hi, Monique. How's everybody doing?
We're back.
We're back. Excited to be back.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's always a good time.
Always. You guys will probably see some pop-ups of our kitties. There are random cats running around here. If you've been with us, you already know.
Yep.
You already know. So we love our babies. So anyway, I'm ready to dive in today. Are you?
I'm ready for it.
As always, however you want to say it. But drop us comments down below if you guys want us to cover something that we have not already. There are more episodes coming, so just know that some stuff might be coming up.
Yeah.
But we love to hear from you. We want your guys' feedback. We want your comments. Let us know what you think about the episode. Let us know what you want to hear about, what you want to learn about. Yeah. We got you.
Maybe we'll see your comment and comment on it.
Yes! Yes, so don't forget to do that because that's a very important move. So. Yes. All right, we're going to dive into something that this is the time of season. Today especially is a rainy day. So we are going to jump into a topic today that we're going to cover weather. Yep. And like what, so again, if you're new here, I come from the event organizer point of view. Mm-hmm. Monique comes from the vendor point of view. We both have experience with all of it, but that's kind of like what we're covering. Yep. So weather is a big one. Whether it's weather. If it's raining, if it's hailing, if it's too hot, right?
Windy.
The
Midwest gets tornado issues.
Oh my gosh.
Hurricane.
And even out here in California, like sometimes the wind is insane. Like we got
we get the Santa Anas,
right? So I mean, weather plays a huge role in whether an event goes on or not. Mm-hmm. And so I'm gonna say like there are times where early on I was like, well, we just do things rain or shine, whatever, And
a lot of events will still
A lot of events do that. Yeah. Yes, rain or shine, doesn't matter. We're still holding it. And then there's also times where it's like, okay, I'll put it to a vote. Like, as the vendors, like, what do you guys want to do? Mm-hmm. Do you guys want to do it or do you not want to do it? Mm-hmm. And I'll say I have made changes this year, 2025, with my policy as far as that goes. And we'll talk about that. Yeah. We'll talk about it and kind of like my reasoning behind. But like, I want to ask, like, as a vendor, if you know that you're going to an event and that it's going to be raining, like, what are your thoughts on that?
So for me specifically, especially because I sell books, so I cannot be out there in the rain risking my product. And like, even if I'm inside the tent and everything's covered, there's still like moisture in the air. Right. So the book can still like absorb that moisture. They can swell up. I've got wood products that face the same issue. I won't do it.
Our last event in the evening, we had a tattoo event recently. Yeah. By the end of the night, there was so much condensation from the cold. Yeah. I don't know if it affected any of your products, but I noticed on like the table covers, like everything, like it was wet. Yeah. Because of the cold. Yeah. Then I was like, I didn't even take that into consideration.
Yeah. It was really cold. Yes. A couple of the books did like swell up a little bit, but luckily we got most of them into the car. Good. Before it became an issue. Yeah.
Because that was something I was like, oh, I need to like take that into consideration as well. So I know, like, for me as an organizer, like, it's always hard because like, as a vendor, like, you're going and you're really just focused on, like, on you, right? Mm-hmm. And your stuff. As an organizer, I have, like, many people messaging me and kind of, like, so I have to address everybody and not just, like, think about me. Mm-hmm. And I think that's been kind of like the challenge. So I'll say, like, previously, like I said, I would put it to a vote and let the vendors decide. And so then there is kind of like, I believe in democracy. So I'm just like, it's everybody's choice, you know, like the majority rules. So if everybody says we're going to do it, we're going to do it. So there was an event specifically that happened at one of our venues. It was our very first time there. There was a 50% chance of showers. That was what the weather called for. Mm-hmm. And everybody was like, yeah, we're just going to do it. And I was like, all right, cool, we're going to do it. If you don't want to go, you don't have to go. That's totally fine. Mm-hmm. But I don't think anybody actually backed out. We're all like, 50%. We're in California. It's no big deal. Girl, we got there. And it was sunny, beautiful. I was like, oh my God, we're going to have such a great day. And then out of nowhere, it stormed. Yeah. It started hailing on us. It was insane, right? And we're just like, oh my God, what do we do? Like, literally, the tents were like being weighed down from the hail. It started hailing on us. Yeah. That was not in the forecast, okay? And so we were just like, what do we do? So everybody just kind of took cover. Yeah. And after it stopped, we're all like knocking the ice off of our tents and everything, trying to figure it out. And we're like, okay, well, let's carry on. It came again. Yeah. It did it twice, maybe 3 times, for sure twice during that event. Mm-hmm. People's products got ruined. Yeah. Like, it was just a mess, right? Now, everybody, like, nobody could really say anything because, again, everybody voted on it. But I know, like, as an organizer, I was like, this really sucks because people's stuff got ruined. Yeah. You know, and, like, and I felt horrible about that, you know? Mm-hmm. And so now, like, I have to look at everything, like, as a big picture because, yeah, if you sell food and it's raining, people are probably still going to come buy food from you. But if you sell books, your product can't get ruined. Yeah. Right? And so those are, like, the things that I have to look at, you know, the community as a whole, not just like we're gonna do this no matter what.
Exactly. If it starts raining and I'm in a market and like we weren't expecting it, all of my books are getting put away because like you can't risk it. Out. Like that's thousands of dollars of product that could just be gone in an instant. Now what do I do? Yeah, yeah. So
and I think that's the hard thing is because like I know, like we recently had to reschedule an event because of the weather not too long ago, and I know I had got quite a few messages after like, you know, I really wish we would have still had it, whatever. And I'm like, and I get it, like I understand that, but at the same time, I know for a fact like people's products would have got ruined because it did rain. It rained hard that day. Yeah. Where we were at, where the venue was at. It rained hard that day for like a good 2-3 hours straight. And I'm like, hardly anybody would have shown up for the event. And B, product would have got ruined. And to me, I'm just like, as an organizer, the way I look at it is like, I'm throwing an event to bring people to your business. If I feel like people aren't going to come because of weather, why would I do that? Because then that's me just taking your money. Yeah. And I'm not that type of person. Yep. Now, I know, not to say that, because I don't want to sound like
You're not saying that the event organizers who hold Raider Shine events are doing it maliciously.
Yeah, that's not what I'm saying at all. It's not that. But for me and how I feel, I'm just like, look, I decided to get into hosting and turn to nonprofit because I wanted to be able to help people. And if I'm saying like we're going to do this no matter what, whether it's rainy or not, that's to me, it's not helping anyone.
And I get the temptation as a vendor to be like, I'm gonna muscle through, I want to try it anyways, because like this happened last summer too, where Nikki that we were expecting a 115-degree day, and Nikki did the same thing. She put it to the vendor, she put it to a vote. She was like, do you guys want to keep going? And we were all like, yeah, let's do it. And I regret that so much. I really wish I would have just been like,
I think all of us regretted that.
Because I wound up with heat stroke that day. I didn't even get my booth fully set up, and nobody came through. Yeah. Like, we had a handful of people. It was not...
That didn't come until the market was closing. Exactly. Because that's when it finally cooled off.
Because that's when it finally cooled off. Because it was the evening, and now you could, like, bear the heat. Yeah. It wasn't worth it. It wasn't worth risking my health. It wasn't worth... And this isn't even like, oh, my product's going to get damaged. It was just...
There was no point. Yeah. Because if you're having an event and people can't come because of the weather so extreme, what's the point of having the event?
Well, and it does become dangerous. Like, I remember when I worked at Disney, every summer they'd have, like, a little safety meeting about, hey, keep an eye out for this with the guests. If you see them looking overhead, bring them water. Like, here's the signs of early heat stroke, because it happens all the time. Yeah. And people, you know, like with Disney, it was, people spend a lot of money and they don't want to lose that money, so they power through. And I think it's the same thing with vendors is, I spent all this money, I don't want to cancel this event. But then what are you risking by going ahead and doing it? You're risking your health, or in the case of rain, you're risking your products, or whatever it may be. And then it's like, was it worth
it? It worth it? No, it was not. It was not. Yeah. I say I got sick 3 times this summer because of the heat. Yeah. You know, so it's like, and as an organizer, I look at all of that like, okay, again, I made a lot of changes this year because I was like, to me, it's not worth it. If some vendors get upset with me because I've canceled an event because I feel like it's not safe for us, then I'll take that. That's fine. Like, I don't mind people being upset with me. That's totally fine. Because my job is to make sure that we're all safe. Yep. You know, so if we have a thunderstorm where there could be lightning, like that's not safe to be sitting inside a metal tent either.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Yep. Like those are the things that I start to think about. It's like for me, safety comes first. That should be top priority. Yeah. You know, for vendors, for customers, for everybody.
High winds is another one where.
Oh my gosh.
Because I can do as much as I can to weigh down my booth and my products and my displays and everything, but I don't know if the vendor next to me is going to do that.
Right.
So if their tent comes crashing into my booth,
yep.
Now I'm risking my product, I'm risking getting injured, I'm risking all those things, and if you get injured bad enough, now you can't work. So where's your income coming from? Because a lot of us, this is it. Yeah. This is our job. Yeah. This is what we do full time. This is it. So if I got injured because you were negligent with your tent weights.
Yep.
Now what? You know, I'm out of work for however long it takes me to heal and not making money in the meantime.
Yep. I did an event this past summer, and it was a windy day. Where I live, it's windy. I'm right by the in the foothills, I guess, whatever you want to say. So like in the valley, basically. But it gets very windy here, and I did an event. That my tent, and it was weighed down, my tent blew into the street. It caught my finger. I still have a big old lump in my finger. Like it broke my tent, like screwed everything up, basically, right? Like I had to take it down so then I'm in the beaming sun. Like it was just not good, and that was taking precautions. So those are the things I look at as an organizer. Is like, okay, I need everybody to be safe no matter what. That's got to be top priority.
And I guarantee every event I've been to where it's windy, I've seen someone's stuff get knocked over.
Yeah.
Last year I really felt really bad for this guy. This was in the Inland Empire where, again, it gets very windy there. Yeah. Like, we get 50-mile-an-hour winds on the regular.
Yeah.
So this was a very windy day, and he didn't have weights, and his tent blew over, and it knocked over his display. And he was selling cookies, and they just all...
everything on the ground.
On the ground. And that was it. He was done now, because he was like, well, there went everything that I brought to sell today.
Yeah.
And, like, that sucks, you know?
Yeah.
It really sucks. So those are the occasions where you have to think sometimes as a vendor, like, if I cancel, I might lose this booth fee, yeah. But is it worth risking your product, your health, anything else to go ahead and go through with it? And sometimes, you know, if the organizer's not willing to call the event, you might have to just pull out.
Yeah. I've done that.
Yeah, and I have too.
I've done that,
especially with rain or shine events.
Yeah.
And I know, as a book vendor, every time I sign up for a rain or shine event, I'm taking that risk.
Yeah.
That if it rains, I'm going to lose that money because I cannot go to that event.
And don't get me wrong, because because even that event where we had hail, we had customers coming through. Every time there was a break in the weather, they were coming. People were coming. So yeah, you're not going to get customers, but for me, I just look at, okay, getting, you know, those few customers, like making those few dollars, was it worth it when, like, at that event in particular, I had some of my speaker cups out there. They all got ruined because the hail broke the tent. Like, it was coming. There was nothing you could do. The rain was coming in. I saw on Instagram a post this morning of a lady at a market as a vendor, and it soaked in mud. Like, the whole venue was a dirt venue. It was muddy everywhere because it rained. The only dry spot was right in the middle of her tent where there was, like, dry dirt.
Yeah.
And the caption was, like, something, I'm not saying verbatim here, but it was basically, like, you know, it took me an hour to get mud off of my product, off my car, off of me. Like, I wanted to cry, but, like, was it worth it or not? I don't know. What do you guys think?
Yeah.
And in my head, I was like, hell no. Like, to have a venue covered in mud because of the rain, like, are people gonna go? As a customer, I'm not going. I'm not going to slop through mud to buy from somebody.
Right. Yeah.
I'm not doing that.
Well, and then, like, where are you going to put your stuff? Because, like, once I'm done setting up, I still have, like, boxes and containers and things like that go behind my table that would now be sitting on the floor getting damp or muddy or whatever. And now I have to try and put my product away in all of that without ruining it, putting it away. Yeah, it's not worth it. No. Yeah. I mean, and especially really weigh, like, the cost. Like, okay, I might lose $150 in vendor fee, or I might lose a couple $100 in product.
Yeah.
It's not worth the risk.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, I think it's definitely like an individual basis. Like, you guys can make that decision for yourself. We're not here to tell you what to do.
Yeah,
like,
we're not telling you how to run your business.
I'm just going to say, like, as an organizer, those are things that I've taken into consideration. That if the weather is not, and again, we're not looking for perfect weather, right? It's going to be cold, it's going to be hot, like, we understand that. But if I know that there's a risk of damage to products, or there's a risk of low attendance because of weather, I'm not going to hold the event. That's just me.
Yeah.
And that's what I've learned. It just doesn't, it's just not worth it. And even doing like makeup events. So I'll say, like, I had an event earlier this year that we had to cancel because of the rain. And then we decided to do a makeup event. So the same event, we just put it on a different day, different week, whatever. The attendance wasn't that great because it was a makeup event. Like, I don't even personally, like, those are not even going to happen for me anymore either. Like, if I cancel, as an organizer, and this is just my events, I can't speak for anyone else, but if I have to cancel the event, I'm just going to put you on a different day. We're not going to make the event up. We're not going to do it on you can just go to a different date that we have available.
Yeah.
Because it just, the people who plan on coming to an event, if it gets canceled to a different day, different time, like, a lot of times I'm not going to make it because
they have plans.
They already have plans. Like, they planned on coming to that day,
Yep.
So I don't know. It's a whole lot involved, and I'll just say, like, as an organizer, it is very stressful on me to, like, is this the right decision? I mean, like, Monique knows, like, the event earlier this year that I was like, it better start raining here, or I'm going to be so pissed off I canceled it. I was, like, kind of like, oh, my God, like, how are we going to, like, and then I saw other events were having events that day, and I was just like, man, like, and I canceled it. And then, like I said, it started pouring, pouring, and I was like, okay, I'm glad that I did that.
Not only that, but a lot of people will stay home too if they think the weather's going to be bad. Because I had an event the day before. It didn't get canceled. And it didn't even rain that day. It was just overcast the whole day. But it was not well attended. And that's because it looked like it was going to rain.
Yeah. And nobody wants to get caught out.
Exactly. And nobody wants to get caught out in the rain. So people did not show up.
Yeah.
Like, it was a very slow market. And it was cold. And it becomes like not worth it. Yeah. And then we were anxious the whole time because it was like, oh my God, is it going to start raining?
Is it going to rain?
I got to hurry up and put all my books away, So, it's just...
Yeah. I mean, I know, like, we're lucky that we live in California, so, like, weather doesn't play a huge role in our events, which is good. Yeah. But, like I said, sometimes, like, the hate that I get afterwards, I'm just like, I really, like, if you guys are one of my vendors, I'm looking out for you, I promise. It has nothing to do with me, like, at all.
And if you're a listener from a state that snows, let us know how that goes.
Yeah, because how do you do that?
Yeah, what do you do? Are all your events indoors?
Right? Because I'm like, I would not want to... We talked about, well, whatever, because this is a podcast where we just share everything. Like, Louie and I had talked about potentially, because my grandma got sick, moving to Missouri for a little while, right? Yeah. And to take care of my grandma. And that was one of the things. It was like, okay, I could still keep my events out here, but he was like, could you do events out there? And I was like, yeah, I think I could. And then I was like, wait, this is Missouri, bro. In the winter. Like, it's going to snow. Like, how the hell would I do that? I'm like, I don't know. I don't know how I would be able to do that. So, yeah, I'm curious. Like, if you are from a different state, or even like Las Vegas is hot as shit. Ain't nobody doing no outdoor event in the summer. I know that they do warehouses out there, but I'm just curious, because like, how do you, like I said, we're pretty lucky we can do outdoor year round here because it's never like extreme cold, or we get the heat, but it does cool off at night for us. Like Vegas, there's no cooling off at night. Yeah. It's 100. You go from 115 to 101. Exactly. Like, that's your cool off. Like, it's not a cool off, you know. So
yeah, no, we're curious. Let us know if you're from another state. Let us know, how does the weather affect you guys? What do you guys do? Speaking of the heat, vendors in hot areas, come prepared for the heat.
Oh my gosh.
Bring tons of water.
Yep.
Get portable fans. Yeah. I have portable fans. The number of days that we spend with those fans just pointed right at us. My business partner and I both have our own fans. Get cooling towels. Yeah. That's the other thing is not all weather is bad for your business, but it can be bad for you. Yeah. Yeah. Individually. So, like, try and prepare for that as best as you can.
During the summer, as a host, I do take water. I take a nice chest full of water for my vendors just to make sure that everybody stays hydrated. Yeah. But then I know everybody got used to it, and they're like, you don't have any more water? I'm like, no. no, because I mean that's like, I know it's just water, but like that's an added cost. Yeah. But more, it's not even the cost really for me. It's the fact that I don't have room to carry it all. So when I get a bigger vehicle, water will be a staple at our events. But like right now, I don't have room to carry anything else. So my poor car. Yeah, it's. I have to choose what I'm taking with me to an event because I just don't have the space. So
I know that feeling.
Yeah, you do. Yeah. Oh my God, the way you pack your car, I'm like, we should do a whole episode on that because but we would have to film it because I'm telling you guys, it's like. I thought that I Tetrised my vehicle until I saw her.
If you saw the halftime show when all those guys came out of the GNX, that's what it looks like with me pulling product out of my car. It's just like more and more stuff coming out.
We should. One day I'm gonna film her at the market so you guys can see. Because it is. I'm like, how did you do that?
My tiny car.
You're watching you pack when we decided to change cars from my Ascent to my Solterra. Yeah. That was one of the things was like, we both were like, well, I mean, if Monique can load up her Hyundai, like, you know, I guess we can make it work in this.
Yeah. My tiny little car.
Yes, it's crazy. We'll do a whole nother episode on that one. Yeah. But yeah, so I don't know. Let us know what you guys think. I know for me, again, I'm always going to be looking out for the safety of the vendors as well as like what's the attendance going to be. Because if I know that an event's not going to have good attendance, like, again, I'm not the type of person that's going to be like, whatever, we're going to do it anyway. Yeah. And then that's just throwing money away. Like, I just don't want to do that. I want to have an event where people show up to support you. Yeah. So.
Yeah, and as a vendor, sometimes you'll have those event organizers who they don't care. Yeah. They're just going to have their events no matter what. And sometimes you just got to eat that vendor fee and just not go for your own
safety. Safety, or like even sometimes just like, I don't know. I as a vendor, I've eaten my feet quite a few times. Like
there are times where like I've done events and been like, yeah, I made money, but it wasn't worth it.
Yeah.
You know, I went into business for myself to like control my stress from my job, and so if I'm just gonna be stressed out because you know the you're trying to make me do a market 100-mile-per-hour winds. No, it's not worth it. It's not worth it. I'd rather lose that vendor fee and just stay home and not be stressed out the whole day.
I've seen markets, speaking of that, I've seen some markets where they like are still doing it and they have like that crazy weather and then like 10 minutes into the event they close it down and it's like you should have just
canceled it early.
Canceled it in the beginning.
Well, and then like I saw this one video on Facebook where it was so sad and like I'm not laughing because it's funny, I'm laughing because like I can't believe that the organizers let this happen. It was like 100-mile-per-hour winds, and somebody's tent with weights got picked up, and then the wind drug it down the market. So it took out like 5 different booths because it's just flying down there, and the weights are flying.
You can't weigh anything down when it's like that.
Exactly. So the weights are also swinging, flying around. I mean, thank God nobody got hurt. Yeah. Because people had to run out of the way, which means there went their booths. Now all their stuff just got destroyed. Because, this event decided to go on. And that's what I mean by, like, take your safety into consideration, too. It could be the heat, it could be the winds, it could be... Heck, you could be out there in the rain and then you get pneumonia. Yeah. You never know what's going to happen. So, sometimes it's just not worth it.
Yeah. And then talk to the organizer, too, because, a lot of them will be like, I totally understand, like, let's just put you on a different day. Like, it makes sense. I get it. Like, this is totally fine. Yeah. So, like I said, when we had that one for the hell, I think there was a couple people who were like, I really don't want to take a risk, even though I know it's only 50%, but I just don't want to. I just transfer them to a different day. Like, okay, that's totally fine. Not a big deal. But, so talk to your organizer as well. Maybe they'll be willing to work with you so you don't lose out on the fee, but you also don't have to put yourself in risk, Yep. Yeah. I don't know. You guys let us know your thoughts. That's what we got to say about the weather. Yeah. Again, luckily we live in California, so it doesn't play a huge role in us. But and then if you are one of my vendors and I cancel, like, no, it's for you and don't give me attitude. I mean, you can give me attitude. It's fine. I can deal with it, but just know that I keep track of that.
Don't be a bully.
Don't be a bully and don't be mean. That's like being mean to like your waiter or your cook. You know what I mean? Like, just don't be mean. Yeah. Don't be mean. That's all. You can say things and not be mean. That's all. Yep. That's it. All right, guys. That's all for today. We'll see you in the next one.
Bye.
Bye.